So many people who begin their investing journey pretty much give up as soon as they start because they don't follow the guiding principles that most, if not all, legendary investors follow. But if you do follow them, you will get to your investing goals much, much quicker. Want to find out what they are? Let's go! Hey everyone, it's Lewis back again with another video, and today we're going to delve into 3 of the biggest principles in investing that no doubt got the likes of Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Peter Lynch and Ray Dalio incredibly rich. And you may be surprised to know it actually isn't about what you invest in, it's actually about your strength and fortitude up here. So the main principle that so many investors don't think about and therefore don't follow is the amount of mental strength and discipline that you actually do need to stick with what you're investing in for several years. And this is really the whole point of today's video. Like Warren Buffett says, if you're not willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. Translation, if you can't handle the stock or even the ETF or index fund that you buy being down as soon as you buy it at whatever price you think is reasonable, you then panic at the first sight of seeing red in your portfolio and end up selling your position almost straight away at a loss, then you simply aren't cut out for investing at all. In fact, just stick with your 1.5% interest savings account and watch the purchasing power of your money drain away over the years thanks to inflation eroding away the value of your local currency. I've said it before on this channel, and I will no doubt say it again in the future. There is no get-rich-quick scheme in investing. There just isn't. There is no one stock in the world that will 10x your money within a month, or at least not one that's worth investing into. It takes years for compound interest to take effect, and therefore you need that mental fortitude and discipline to stay in the game for that long. If you keep buying stocks and then selling them a month or two later, then you're not going to get anywhere. That's not investing, that's trading. The majority of day traders lose money. In fact, according to investment platform eToro, 80% of day traders will lose all of their money within the course of a year, with a median loss of about minus 36.30%. And that's only the median of that average. So just think about how much worse that number could actually be. The moral of this story is very simple. Make sure that you have some money behind you that you can actually put into the stock market for a minimum of 10 years, but the longer the better, and just leave it alone. Another major principle that the world's greatest investors live by that again involves mind over the matter is the ability to see opportunity when everyone else is panicking and running around like headless chickens. This goes back to portfolios being in the red and the overall stock market is doing the same thing because people are freaking out over something that, yes, may affect their stocks or even their ETFs in the short term, but mean almost nothing to absolutely nothing in the long term. Let's take right now, for instance. Yes, there is high inflation. Yes, there is a geopolitical crisis that is happening right before us in Eastern Europe. And yes, overall stock markets are down majorly because of these things and other certain things like COVID still affecting the global supply chain. But again, all of these things are short term. Hopefully, anyway, let's all cross our fingers and just hope that the Ukraine war isn't going to last for 10, 20 plus years. And the same thing, inflation at 8 to 9 and even 10% per year isn't going to be inflation per year for the next 30 to 40 years. It's going to be back under control again. Therefore, the interest rates or the base interest rates of local governments set won't be as high as they are right now. And it's the exact same thing with COVID. Yes, we're going to have to learn to live with it, it would appear like, in the future worldwide. It's not going to affect global supply chains of many companies that we all buy and sell and love very much so every single day just because it's being affected right now. The trade isn't great right now for the likes of Apple, who can't get their chips as quickly to put in their computers to sell to their consumers as they would like to right now. However, again, this is short term, not long term. Within the next 10 years, I would imagine so that once again, the likes of Apple and the stock market overall will continue to do very, very well and make your money grow further. When stock markets are down like this is the time that the best investors in the game are just rubbing their hands together with glee, because this is when stocks are on sale and they will go in and purchase them at a much cheaper price than what they may value them at and sit on that investment for many, many years. Look, there is no system against you. This is very simple, and it is how the rich get rich in the first place, but more importantly, stay rich. The only system that is placed against you is the one that you've actually placed in your own head. But if you can retrain your brain to see that opportunity instead of blind panic when your stocks or even ETFs are down, and you have some cash on hand in your bank account or savings account that you can put away for several years into the stock market that you won't need for years and years and years, then more than likely you will become much richer than those around you. When we're walking down our local high street and see shop windows with 20% off here and 50% off there, with all these amazing material goods on sale, our eyes light up because we have the opportunity to buy what we either want or need at a much lower price than what we intended to. That's great, fantastic, I'm getting a bargain there. So why can't we do the same when we see the stock market doing the exact same thing? If you've had your eye on starting your investing journey and you either want to just invest into the stock market passively by buying some ETFs each month, or even invest in some companies that you use every day and therefore know very well, or you might even work for them, why is it that you feel anxious or uneasy about investing into those things when you see the price of them falling? By the way, it's absolutely fine to feel this way because the majority of retail investors do. And that's why they start investing, see things fall in price, panic, sell their investment at a loss, and then just give up and wonder why or how people have gotten very, very rich from this thing and look at them with a tinge of jealousy and or regret. It takes a lot to retrain your brain to see something differently. Personally, for me, it took me 2 years to understand that when the price of stocks fall, they're on sale, and therefore I should be buying more of them at this time instead of just running for the hills and looking the other way and burying my head in the sand. If anything, it's when things go up in price so much that they start to look overpriced to you is when you should start thinking to yourself, maybe I shouldn't buy that right now. Again, this is just like you would if you were down your local high street. If you see something that you wanted to buy at a high price, you start to think, I'm not paying that much for that. And you would walk away, right? So if you can see the stock market like you would the high street in your brain, then you will do very well indeed. The third mental principle to live by that has killed so many investors time and time again because they haven't followed it is sticking with what you know. Now, if you just want to be a passive investor, i.e. you just want to put your money into ETFs every month to match what the market is doing, then you won't really need to live by this one as much as if you want to be an active investor who tries to beat the market. But is that really true? Should you just blindly put your money into a gold ETF, for instance, just because someone said that it's a good hedge against inflation, which, of course, by the way, it is? Should you also put money into a NASDAQ tech-only or very tech-heavy ETF because tech stocks are the sexy thing to invest in, which outpaces several other sectors? What happens when inflation becomes out of control? Or the global supply chain for these companies becomes disrupted? Or what happens if debt becomes increasingly more expensive because interest rates have been raised by central governments? Those tech stocks probably aren't looking so great now, right? Here, the moral is don't follow the crowd. Basically, don't be a sheep. Why? Because sheep get slaughtered. There's a very high chance that you already know a certain sector of the stock market, or even better, a few individual companies even, very, very well because of your lifestyle and the things that you use on an everyday basis, or the line of work that you're in. So let's take this for example. If you work in the financial services sector, you'll know exactly how the likes of Visa, MasterCard, and American Express make their money. Likewise, with if you work in retail, then you will know the overriding factors that make that world money and the companies within that world money, and when they won't make so much money. The same can be said for pharmaceuticals, construction, technology, and even good old consumer staples. Before you even begin investing, get to know the world that you're already in even more than you do. Once you really study something, such as an individual company or an entire sector, then you'll be able to make yourself much more richer for it. Knowledge is power, and with that power, you can certainly make yourself some money. Just because all of your mates are investing in Tesla, Bitcoin, or anything else just because they're going up in price, doesn't mean that you should do the same thing. Instead, ask yourself those questions. How does Tesla make money? What type of company even is Tesla? Is it really just a car company? If that's the case, then why do they focus on people's data so heavily? And why do they also sell batteries, solar panels, and subscription services? Maybe you should think twice about buying Tesla stock if you think that they just sell cars, because they don't. This is exactly what the best investors in the history of the world have done time and again. They've avoided putting their money into anything that they don't understand. That can open you up for a world of pain, and they know that. Instead, all they've really done is double down on what they do know, constantly study that market or markets, and put their money into those things, and have come out the other side very well off. As always, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and just know that if you do stick with these principles, then you will be so much better off than other investors out there around you who don't. If you haven't already, consider subscribing for more money related content. I post videos every Monday and Friday at 6:30 PM UK time, so stick around for all of that. Also, make sure to follow me on all of my socials for even more. Grab your free money and stocks using some of the links down below in the description. And remember, until next time, every quid counts. See you soon.